Virat Kohli, the flavour of the day. His last 100 was against Pakistan a few months ago in Dubai. But today, 7 sixes, 11 fours. It looked like Virat Kohli had never gone anywhere. And he isn't going anywhere.
Well, it was very impressive hundreds. The 100, there's no doubt about that. What I liked about this innings of Virat was he was looking consciously making that effort of getting in positions early.
Yep.
And I think that was something which was stand out for me from his innings. And also those aerial shots. You've seen Virat Kohli in a standard ODI 100. You'll see there is a pattern, and in this innings you could make out that the pattern was completely changed. Those sixes is making that impact. I think he was consciously looking to be more aggressive, looking to take the bowling on, and yet holding his shape. So it wasn't those wild swings, but it's like a clear-cut plan of maybe adding something to his approach, and that is something exciting to see.
And 160 hit off long off was of the same length that troubled him a little bit initially. Perhaps that's why experience scores over most other skills, doesn't it?
Exactly what I'm trying to say. You've seen a very patented Virat 100. He'll be approaching the first 20 runs in one fashion, then the next 20, and the next 20. You'll see like a progressive innings. But I think today's innings, you'll see that the aerial shots were coming a bit early than later in his innings. And that is something which was not expected. Even the bowlers, we often speak about having tactics, when someone has played so much, then obviously you have enough data to prove that you can approach a particular batter in a particular way. And Virat today is making that effort of maybe trying to create a new pattern for himself and for bowlers to think about.
Perhaps younger cricketers watching Virat Kohli have learnt another facet, or the same facet for the 83rd time. That feature, the running between the wickets. I mean, he is clearly the fittest of them all. He's still running threes.
He's still running threes. He's still on the lookout when he takes a two and there's a mistake. He's still looking at that three. Most importantly, I mean, he didn't look tired. I mean, once I think his back needed to get stretched, but that's a different matter altogether. But I think the biggest thing about Virat is, firstly, ODIs and test matches allow you the opportunity to really construct innings. T20 is very difficult because there's very short time. And I think that's what he did. And he was saying that the grammar of that has changed. I mean, he was up front, he was lofting the ball, which is not typically him. Then they reached at batting at 7.5, he and Rohit. Then moment he comes closer to his century, he sort of slows down. But the moment he gets his century, he just goes to fifth gear immediately. And he just totally takes off. And I think that's the thing, that his ability to be able to change gears at will, as his ability to read a match situation and say, okay, this is what it is. He's at the other end. Okay, now Rahul has come in. Let me just do it. Because if you remember, after Rohit got out, there was a situation where India lost two quick wickets. And at that point in time, you're saying, will India be 20-25 short because they're just going to lose a few batters? And I think it was important for him and Rahul to consolidate at that point.
The ability to suss out the opposition, what their bowling resources are, what the pitch is likely to be, is something that Virat Kohli has done so well over the last almost 2 decades, doesn't he?
Well, if someone has played for 2 decades, you expect these things. And Virat is no exception for that. And, in fact, all the good players, we've seen what they do differently other than preparing just skill-wise is the ability to suss out all these finer things. Which bowler is going to be in which phase of the game, how he can build his innings, which bowlers to target, what are the dimensions of the ground. You get into these nitty-gritties which separates you from a good player to above average player. And I think that is something which Virat obviously have been pushing that bar higher and higher. Those things are taken for granted, when you're talking about say Virat or a Rohit or players of those caliber. This innings was very important for Virat, and like I said, what I liked about it is the approach, is the aggression, is the different pattern which we've seen from this 100. You've not taken too much time in the early part of your innings, which Virat is known for. He's looking to be aggressive. He's not afraid of taking bowlers on, not afraid of taking the aerial route.